There's a lot wrong with this clip, especially this mage whose name happens to be Magic. And the thing is, if he just used magic, he could achieve his stupid feat of trying to cross this bridge of the Alliance, break our front lines. It's called greater invisibility. It's called invisibility. Mages can do this. Trust me, I know. Two things about this clip. One, if you're a hunter and you happen to be max level and you're in a PG or any kind of PvP, use your goddamn flares, use your traps. I just know that there's some sort of stealthy who's gonna lurk around, and here's a hunter, no traps, no flares, doesn't want to use them, refuses to use them, and my instincts tell me that there's a stealthy around. So I use my potent of heightened senses, which if you have this potion, you should just basically vendor it and get the 62 copper, because the 62 copper will have more value than actually using this potion in a BG, because it's absolutely useless. Anyway, still no flares and no traps, and there's a warrior thinking, oh, there's the druid and the rogue, just what my instincts told me. But of course, Mr. Hunter here, who's not AFK by the way, doesn't use a trap, doesn't use a flare. Makes me absolutely crazy. Here's another very cool trick for your bag of tricks, which may or may not carry forward into Shadowlands, but it's something that I just recently learned. Actually, this is an older clip, but not too old. Anyway, we're about to see someone pop something into Battleground chat, which usually goes largely ignored. If one of you mages pops Time Warp at 1 or 2 seconds before gate opens, it won't give us the debuff, and then you could Time Warp again 30 seconds later. Okay, got a little bit of problem with the grammar there and the tenses, but the fact of the matter is, the guy is right. So what have we learned from this particular clip? That you don't have to have perfect grammar in order to be right, and you don't necessarily have to play a mage in order to understand the intricacies of Time Warp in any given BG. So you see 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hero, boom, and no debuff, which means that we can pop it again a little bit later. And as you can see up on the top, there's that Time Warp icon showing that I have the buff. Like I said earlier, I want to start showing some better clips. People can learn from mistakes, also learn from doing something right like we did here. Defending this node, capturing the cart, and basically taking care of the horde. Anyway, we're about to see a pet battle in BG, and every once in a while we tend to see these. Now I have all my pets out. I got my elementals out. There's Mr. Stone Elemental beating up, of course, not on a player, but on a player's pet, which is, of course, very, very important to do. But here's Rogue. I don't know why they jump up and down right before they're about to go back to the graveyard and get a reset, but they always do that. You ever notice that? Particularly Rogues tend to do that. So watch what happens here. We got a perfect pet battle going on between a Ghoul and a Elemental. Who do you think's going to win? You see, the Ghoul thinks, nah, this ain't worth my time. So the Ghoul is obviously smarter than the Earth Elemental. So I just kind of really found this to be very fascinating. Thought I'd help out my Elemental a little bit there. And turns out, I think somebody is healing me for some reason. There's the Ghoul running away. I guess he lost. Yeah, he lost. The clip you're about to see in Isle of Conquest is really not that bad. What I'm trying to do with this new PvP series is to start showing some good plays and some bad plays. Not necessarily incredibly stupid plays, but plays so people could learn. That's always been one of the intentions of this series, so people could learn. And there's two lessons to learn here. One is that if you're going after a very, very crucial point in any given BG, you better get it. You absolutely better get it, and certainly leaving demos back there is not going to help. You better get it. Second of all, you better be coordinated. And third of all, it's always best to go where they're not. So here we are making a full court press, a huge gamble to try and take Hanger, and we do not take it. Despite having all three of these demos, The Horde are very well fortified, which means A, don't lose the fight for Hanger in the first place, and B, focus on something else. Because if you hit Hanger here and you don't capture it, chances are you're going to lose. And the same can be said for many other types of capture the node kind of battlegrounds. Now here we have the 3 demos coming in and doing a fair amount of damage, but the fact is they have elevated ground, they have the numbers, and probably 17 healers, because the Horde always have. No question about this. I know this might be a bit controversial, because the people that I know, people that are on my friends list in World of Warcraft, tend to be healers, but the fact is, I gotta say, with very few exceptions, the Horde have better healers. The Horde have better healers. Part of it is because the Horde DPS tend to actually peel for the healers in any given battleground. I've seen it posted many times in battleground chat, and yet on the Alliance side, never see it posted. Never see anybody say, peel for your healers, peel for your healers. So that's kind of a key importance. But the point here, as I said, be sure you capture the node, because if you do not capture the node, you're going to lose. You are going to lose. Battlegrounds are not that difficult. It's essentially go where they're not and make sure that you execute. And there are many different ways of executing a particular goal, a particular objective. So I just want to point that out. This is one of those clips that are educational more than supposedly being satirical. I think experience comes into play when you start to anticipate correctly, which I often do in battlegrounds because I've done so many, and it's experience, and I often forget some people are not quite as experienced in battlegrounds as I am, because I just know there's a rogue. You see, somebody over there gets sapped, I'm being attacked by the rogue. Now keep in mind, I'm not playing with my pet druids healing me. We have 3 bases, so this isn't necessarily any big deal, but they know there are 2 rogues here. Both the monk and the druid know there are 2 rogues here. And like I said, we have the base, we have 3 bases, but watch what happens. Okay, I don't understand the mentality of players who suddenly decide, we know there's 2 rogues at a base, but let's go to another base that a place you're probably not even needed. This is the point of focus. This is the point of attack. Oh, the rogues just gave up, right? They just left. No, they didn't. Now the druid decides he's got more important places to go. Where are you going to go? There are 2 rogues here, and the monk is gonna leave too. And because I have some sort of responsibility to protect the node. Of course, I don't have a pet. I'm going petless for this particular BG, so there's not much I could do. I don't have my trinket. I don't have a pet. Well, I trinket the sap because I know there's 2 rogues, and what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I had to trinket the sap there. I don't think I ever lost a battleground where everybody dressed up in some sort of mirror costume of each other. Here, most of the BG, we have Naga. But I never understood the draw, the excitement, the basic stupid choice of masking yourself as this huge Naga or huge Tauren in any given BG, where you're basically saying, hey guys, I'm making myself a bigger target so it's easier for you to hit me in the BG. That's why I like to go get some Noggenfogger and shrink myself down to size, because it makes it harder for people to hit me in the BG. Unlike this guy who subscribes to a completely different school of thought as me, he wants to make it easier for people to target him. Now maybe if you're a tank, this particular strategy might work, but if you're not a tank, it's just not gonna work, okay? So you don't wanna make yourself this big Naga in a bubble where everybody can see you, everybody can easily target you. I'm not 100% sure on this, about 99.9% sure, but the fact is, it's stupid. Don't do it. Go get some Noggenfogger, make yourself really small, it works a lot better. Once again, my name is Luxeley. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and leave you with this final thought. Whatever it is by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, make your day epic.